Has the crisis hit you already? Are you freezing your recruiting process or laying off your employees? Then stop. Instead, you should think beyond survival and adapt to such disruptive events by being a resilient organization with the help of HR management, which acts as a facilitator of organizational resilience. By selecting, training, and preparing talents who have the right capabilities such as expertise, opportunism, creativity, decisiveness despite uncertainty. One such HR management tool is Personio, which maintains all personal data and documents centrally and manages onboarding processes, absences, time registration, attendances, and much more of the employees. But in this time of crisis, isn't it already too late to think about recruiting and developing new talents? Well, here are some facts for you to decide. In the last years, 5 out of 10 positions remain unfilled by major German companies as well as startups struggling to recruit as per their requirements. At the time of 2008 crisis, hiring high-performance employees of competitors was the third most effective action for an organization. Well, with this in mind, now might be a remarkable opportunity for you to hire new talents and cautiously cut back on existing talents, rather focus on retaining them. So, moving forward, let's discuss 5 important steps to keep in mind in this time of crisis. Step 1. Ask your top leaders to list 3 to 5 great players they would have liked to have hired over the past 5 years and then check in with those people. Currently, employee referral is a trend in HR. These potential employees are considered to be more loyal and productive than the employees that are not recommended. For example, in Mobi, a mobile advertising giant started a referral program. For anyone who referred a candidate, the candidate got hired. The referrers could win exciting rewards like a bike or a trip to Bali. To keep the enthusiasm, the bike was even parked right at the office. And so, in Mobi, was able to increase their referral rate from 20 to 50% for a 900 people team. You can also check digitized solutions offered by Firstbird, Talenttree, and Zing. Now let's go to step 2. Set up a task force to source potential candidates from target sectors and companies who may now be either jobless or open to change. Now is the time to be diversified. Use various talent recommender systems which search one or more database for suitable candidates. For example, LinkedIn or Talent Wonder actively source employees based on your requirements. Indeed is another example with its database is the biggest source of external hires by far. In 2020, it was credited with an incredible 75% of all job applications and 47% of all hires in the US. Another example, ZipRecruiter, with over 25 million job seekers a month visiting the site, became a popular choice for employers as well as job seekers. You can also find talent through unconventional recruiting channels such as Stack Overflow, GitHub, Facebook, to name a few. You will be surprised to know that 57.5% are not looking for a job but are open for job offers. Therefore, you do not have to wait until the crisis to hire new talents. Now let's go to
step number 3 is how to seize opportunity that appears from crisis, is to interview and check references remotely with the same rigor you would do in person. Question that appears is how to select candidates nowadays if in the future it is expected that work won't be about the college degrees, it will be about job skills. Even nowadays, many tech companies like Google, Apple, IBM and freelancing platforms like Upwork start implementing such rules. How to determine skills if education is not relevant anymore? Most efficient ways are integrity tests, structured employment interviews, and unstructured employment interviews. Mixing them together will give you a better prediction. To help with choosing the right candidate, there are some new technologies based on machine learning. They can help to capture personality traits from interview videos and also using specialized neuroscience games. Also, there are new technologies that help to gather information with intelligent tasks, personality traits tests to make matching score to initial requirements for each candidate. We recommend to check these companies if you are interested in using new technologies in your hiring process. Programs can not only see emotions on a video, but they also can predict personality from a single image. For example, if a person is introvert or extrovert. But there is a problem. A machine learning model may mirror human selection decisions if correctly trained, but if input is incorrect, model can have bias in gender and nationality. Step number 4 is how to seize opportunity that appears from crisis, is to go out of your way to motivate best candidates. Based on Facebook survey, 3 main things employees really want are career, community, cause. When people are young, they value career more, but older people think cause is more important. Employer branding is important for the company, for current employees and for candidates. Some of the benefits of employer branding are improved quality and quantity in recruiting, greater employee commitment and loyalty, increased company performance. Crises like from COVID-19 represent a challenge but also an opportunity for employer branding. How company is treating its employees, customers and community during this critical time is defining what employer branding really represents. When crisis starts, companies need to maintain good communication with employees, for example through LinkedIn, based on news in the region. In such difficult times, messages should contain advice and support.
This leads to step number 5. Following the previous steps, you may have already attracted some great new talents to enrich your team. But don't stop now, since the work is not done yet. There's one important rule you should now keep in mind. Don't forget your in-house talents. Think about the past and all the good things they have done for the company. Those are the people that brought you up, and they have so much more potential to bring into the company. They need sourcing, retaining, and development. As in the previous steps, you don't need to do this by yourself. The age of algorithms at work is here for your help. There are 3 types of algorithmic management that can help you achieve sourcing, retaining, and development of your in-house talents. They are called algorithmic direction, algorithmic evaluation, and algorithmic discipline, and can be divided into the so-called 6 R's. The first 2 R's fall under algorithmic direction. The first one is called algorithmic restricting. It entails the use of algorithms to display only certain information and allow specific behaviors while preventing others. One example can be the algorithmic restriction of certain words when emailing with customers, like it is done at Upwork. The second R is about offering suggestions intended to prompt the targeted worker to make decisions. It's called algorithmic recommending. You can think of it as putting an apple at eye level. It usually increases the amount of eaten apples without having to ban junk food. This is also called nudging. One example is Uber recommending its drivers to go home when 3 passengers in a row reported to feel unsafe during the ride. Secondly, there are 2 R's in the category of algorithmic evaluation. The next one, therefore, is called algorithmic recording and entails the use of computational procedures to monitor, aggregate, and report a wide range of data from internal and external sources. Click Health, a large Canadian healthcare consulting firm, for example, used a machine learning tool to calculate the average time it took workers to complete a variety of tasks and to alert managers when projects appear to be going off track. R number 4 is algorithmic rating. It's another mechanism for guiding worker behavior through evaluation. Managers are now often using computational technologies to gather ratings to calculate their workers' performance and predict measures of their future performance. One example is making use of TripAdvisor to rate your waiter's performance. Lastly, there is the category of algorithmic discipline. The 5th R entails rapidly or even automatically firing underperforming workers from the organization and replacing them with substitute workers. This is called algorithmic replacing and, for example, is done by Uber based on their ratings. Last but not least, there is algorithmic rewarding. It is about using algorithms to interactively and dynamically reward high-performing workers with more opportunities, higher pay, and promotion. Often this is paired with gamification, like PwC did, when their staff could compete for cash prizes based on what they know about digital trends. Let's wrap it up. In times like these, employers fear for their future and start cutting back on recruiting. But this action wasn't among the top 5 most effective ones during past crises. So better stop now and start using more effective methods, like the ones we showed you in this video. In conclusion, these 5 steps are: ask your top leaders to list 3 to 5 great players they would have liked to have hired over the past 5 years, and then check in with those people. Set up a task force to source potential candidates from target sectors and companies who may now be either jobless or open to change. Interview and check references remotely with the same rigor you would in person. Go out of your way to motivate the best candidates. And last but not least, don't ignore the sourcing, retaining, and development of in-house talent. Step number 2, for example, was among the top 5 most effective actions during past crises. With this in mind, now it might be an unprecedented opportunity to hire great talent. At first, this might seem overwhelming, but pinky promise it's not that hard. With these steps and today's technology, it is easier than ever to make use of this situation and emerge from this crisis as a winner.